Hey, what's going on, everyone? I know it's been a while since I've actually made one of these. Just want to make sure that the chat's working. I haven't really tested anything yet, so just let me know in the messages if that is possible. I want to make sure that everything is working a-okay also. Again, just let me know if you can hear me. Probably wait a little bit to see if anyone joins. I know it's been a while, so got 3 people, 7 people now. All right, already off to a hot start with thumbs down already. Didn't even start yet, and I got a thumbs down. That's great. I'm doing something right. How've sales been for everybody this week? So I went to Portland this past weekend, which was a pretty good time. So I'm gonna go over a few of the items that I picked up. I didn't have a lot of room in my luggage, so I did not hit the bins or anything. My buddy lived around the corner from a Goodwill, which was actually pretty expensive, which isn't the worst thing, I guess, because I couldn't carry a bunch anyway. But I still got some good stuff out there. I have some stuff listed already, so I'm just gonna go over some of the stuff that I haven't listed yet. Were actually pretty good finds. Then I had a thrift store this morning, and it was actually pretty dry. Wasn't too bad, I guess. I got a bunch of stuff for Amazon, actually, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, sales have waiting for Vogue Squared. Am I up? Just refresh your browser or the YouTube video. It might work that way. I'm not really sure. But yeah, sales have been kind of slow. Yesterday was probably one of my worst days on eBay that I've had since I went full time. I think I did less than $200 on eBay. I don't know. I've been listing quite a bit, so I don't know what to do. I've been toying around with a little bit of stale inventory of throwing it on auction at the lowest price I'll take. But then I have shipping. I charge shipping on all my auctions. That way I can still make a little bit of money back. But yeah, oh well, just sold something on Grailed, so that's good. Hopefully sales pick up a little bit today. I had a few trickle in this morning, but it's still been pretty slow. But yeah, let's get started. So I'll go over a few of my items that I got in Portland. So these were a pretty cool find. They're actually my size, but not really my style. These were the Nike, these are the LGBT Be True. I think they've made this for during Pride Week, or not Pride Week, Pride Month maybe, I think it's called. But they're like perfect. Literally, I think they were worn once. They were 15 bucks. Should sell for about 100. It's a little bit, but that's just pretty easy cleanup. These are actually a pretty cool find. They're big. I think they're size 13 Nike Frees. They're the Super Bowl editions though. I need to look up. They're the XLVII. I'm not too great with Roman numerals. That's probably Super Bowl 58 maybe. VII would be 8. XL's 50, so maybe 58. But yeah, these are pretty cool. And then I actually have this exact pair of shoes myself, but these are a lot smaller. They're the Nike Flyknit trainers. Pretty cool shoes. They're a little beat up on the sides. You can see the paint coming off on them, but I think they were 15 bucks also. I should get 50 to 60 on them because they don't make this colorway anymore. These were like one of the original colorways that first came out. They had some pretty good hats, actually. Of course, most of this stuff is Nike because I was in Nike Central, but here's a Nike golf hat, fitted golf hat, pretty nice. These go for like 25 bucks, maybe 20 to 25. Well, this one cost me 5 bucks. These are great for running or like any kind of physical activity. I ran in one of these this morning, Michigan State version, obviously. This is only 4 bucks. Probably get about 16 or 20. This is a cool find, actually. It's a New Era NFL Pro Bowl bucket hat. Having fun, kind of unique. I didn't even look up comps, but it was cheap, $5. Might ask like 25 or 30 on it. These bucket hats do really well in the summer too. Look at what I found out there. If anyone knows me from Instagram, they know that the Detroit Red Wings are my favorite team. So if you guys find any Detroit Red Wings stuff and follow me on Instagram, hit me up. I'll most likely buy it off you depending on the piece. But this is brand new with tags. Vintage, twin inner price. This was $5. Probably get about 25 to 30 on it. Some more Nike. Here's a Nike Ohio State stitched. This is the Nike Elite, which is their better line of athletic stuff. Oh yeah, Super Bowl 51 was this year, I believe. I don't think 58 has happened yet. Yeah, see, I don't. Maybe there was 48. I don't know. I should probably have learned Roman numerals in college. Never really needed it though. But yeah, it's a pretty nice jersey. I think number 20 was Greg Oden back in the day, which makes sense because he played for sort of played. Like his career has now come to an end. Actually, he had 3 major knee surgeries and never really played that much. But it's a pretty nice jersey. I'm sure Ohio State has a huge following. They're either number 1 or number 2 every single year on most money brought in for athletics. So there's always a big following there. This is a cool jersey too. So that Portland's MLS team is really big out there, the Portland Timbers. And this is one of their official jerseys. Everything's stitched on there, minus the Alaska Airlines, but all the patches are stitched on. The only problem was there's a small stain on there. I might try to get it out. It's not that big of a deal usually on nice stuff like this. So I need to look up comps on it. I don't even know how much it's worth. But I'm thinking off the top of my head, I'll ask about 45 or 50 on it. So those are some of the stuff. I got a decent amount of more stuff from Portland, but I've already like photographed and listed it. So I now have 2 assistants. As of yesterday, my original assistant brought his friend, and he's looking for work too. So I now have 2 assistants ready to go. So I bought a camera yesterday. So I have a DSLR camera, just one. So I bought another one yesterday on Amazon for him to use. So hopefully I can really start outsourcing all of that work, like photographing and measuring, just because that's my least favorite part of this job. Shipping kind of sucks too, but I can deal with that. That's fine. But hopefully that'll free up some more time for me to start doing YouTube a little bit more. I'm thinking get them going a couple weeks on the job and go from there, really. How's it going, Thrifty Bish? Thanks for stopping by. So Barney, saw these at the thrift today, the wooden puzzles. I remember growing up on these. These 2 were 50 cents each, and then for some reason this one was $1. But I'll sell them as a lot, so $3 total. I should be able to get about 20 to 25 on it, maybe a little bit more. Looking up comps, they're about that for a lot of 3. So these are a blast from the past. Here's an Amazon. If you ever see any like special Monopoly games and you sell on Amazon, always look it up because some are worth more than others. This one, if it was sealed brand new, I think it was like going for 60 to 75 bucks. It's a good rank. Used, it is going for like 30 plus shipping, merchant fulfilled, and I only paid $1.50. So so with Amazon, I do FBA and merchant fulfilled. So when I buy an item, I'll put it up on Amazon automatically, merchant fulfilled, and then wait until I get like a decent stockpile before I send it into FBA. So sometimes I'll still sell things merchant fulfilled while it's waiting to be shipped off to FBA. So that's what I do with my Amazon. I know you can get more money doing FBA, but sometimes I don't want to go through that hassle of packing it all up until I get a decent amount, because I don't want to send like 1 to 2 pieces to a warehouse when I could wait a little bit and send maybe 15 to 20 pieces. If you don't mind me asking, how much do you pay your assistant hourly by the or by the piece? I do it by the piece because if I paid hourly, I think it's super easy to game the system unless I set like I need 20 items done an hour. I'm kind of lax in that sense. Like they can work at their own pace. I'm kind of grateful that they're even working for me in the first place. So I pay them $1 per item. So really, if they want to bust their ass, they can do 40 items an hour, 30, 40 items an hour, and then they're paid $40 for the hour. So it's really up to them how fast and how slow they want to work. But I have no complaints so far. My assistant right now, he's a reseller of vintage items too. That's how we kind of met. He was came to Ann Arbor, so he's living in Ann Arbor, and then his buddy came up from Florida to live with him. So he helped me. One was taking pictures yesterday, and the other one helped me like put everything away on hangers that was kind of like sitting out. And then also we cleaned up my basement because it was kind of getting a little bit crazy between hats and shoe boxes everywhere. So got that all cleaned up, and now I have a nice open space that was filled with a bunch of shit. Seems like most YouTubers are using iPhones to list on eBay. Why are you using DSLR camera? I think it's just easier. That's what I've always done. I like listing. I don't like listing from my phone at all. So what I do is my process is measurements, description of the item. So I have a spreadsheet for all of my assistants. So when they're listing or when they're photographing, measuring, it has like the brand name, the size, what it's made out of, what type, what it is, like a jacket, polo, whatever. And then what hanger it goes on. So I hang a lot of my items. So that's all on there. And then there's a spot for if there's any damage that I may have missed that they can note. And I think that works well for me. Some people like to just do it. They take their photos all at once with their iPhone and list that way, but just not for me, because what I can do is get all those items photographed and measured, have it on those sheets, and then if I'm like traveling and stuff, I have all the photos on my computer already, and then all the descriptions and measurements, so I can list on the road. So if I'm at the airport, then I can pull out my MacBook and start listing, get up like 20 or 30 items while I'm sitting there waiting. So I also do like the cameras, just because they seem to come out better with that, and then also with the lighting situation and stuff. No, I don't pay an extra percentage to assistants once the item sells. I just don't because they're not really building the listing or anything. They're just taking photographs and measurements. I'm still using my own personal knowledge on keywords, how I want everything to be set up. So beyond that, no, they just get a flat rate fee. It's a lot easier in the long run. If you're the boss, like I still I'll feed them and stuff, give them coffee. Sometimes I'll bring them lunch. So you just gotta do the little things, and it's a big motivator. Actually, food is. It's crazy. So if you bring them lunch, they're in love with you. So let's see. Here's some Mountain Hardwear shorts. I think these are men's. Usually they say, I don't know. I think they're men's. They're pretty short, but hardware, like outdoor stuff, is pretty short. The hiking stuff, because it's meant for those dads out there. But no, this is their logo. These sell pretty well. Drawstring, but that shouldn't really affect anything. I'll just note it on the listing. Should get about $25, paid $4. So I paid $4 for mostly everything in here, minus like the board games and some of the shoes. So I've started picking up, doesn't matter what the brand is. I've started picking up like crazy print, like vintage looking shorts, shirts, whatever, because they do sell pretty well. And usually they're the cheapest in the store anyway, because they're just unbranded, and people, like workers, they price them low. Are your assistants employees or contractors? Contractors. I mean, they're not on the books. It's a friend helping out a friend, I like to say. These always seem to do pretty well for me if I can get them for cheap. It's these J. Crew t-shirts, the broken in ones. It'll tell you broken in on top. This is a slim fit. Slim fit always does well for me. Usually I get about 16 or 20 bucks on these. Again, this is $4. Oh, this might have been half price. I think pink was half price, so it was $2. So I've never sold this brand before. I think it's an Urban Outfitters brand from what I saw. It's called Urban Renewal. Comps looked all right. So that it sound they make a lot of, this might be women's actually, but the buttons are on the men's side. So I thought it was men's, but like, so maybe, I don't know. I think it's men's just based off the buttons, unless Urban Outfitters doesn't fit or doesn't follow that. I don't know. There were some men's stuff of Urban Renewal, so. Here's a women's, I picked up a few women's items actually. I've sold this before, this half zip. But it was in red and black. This is a Woolrich half zip. I don't know if you can see the light's kind of bright, but it's Woolrich. Half zip sweater. Usually get about 25 to 30 on these. Prior to getting helpers, how many items were you listing on average? I didn't really keep track. If I had to guess, he's still listing about 30, anywhere from 30 to 50 items a day, depending on, some days what I would do is straight up photograph and measure for like 4 hours straight and just get a long list, and then the other 4 hours or whatever I had downtime of like watching TV or whatever, then I would be listing. So I don't really keep track of anything like that. As long as I make money, I'll keep listing. So here's a Banana Republic slim fit dress shirt. These always do pretty well for me, 20 to 25 bucks. Hopefully that still keeps holding true because sales have not been great lately. Oh, this is pretty nice. This should go fairly quickly, I would assume. Camo's in a lot. This is a Free People jacket. It's actually pretty nice. What size is it? It's a size 2. I don't even know if that's a good size or not, but I couldn't pass it up. It was only $4. Got some Keens. I believe these are kids. These may be women's. 5 US, UK, 37 European. Yeah, these are most likely, yeah, these are definitely women's. So these always sell pretty well. They might sit a while now since summer's kind of winding down. But it's funny, the lady in the store, these look brand new, honestly, like maybe worn once. There's a lady in the store was like, "Oh, where'd you find those Keens?" I was like, "Oh, over in the shoe section." But you could tell that she wanted to buy them off of me. And I was like, "Nah, I'm good." These are only $6.50. I think I can get like these. Pretty good color. Again, here's another Amazon item. It's a mosaic fruit kit. Yeah, the only reason I even looked it up is because it was brand new. Any brand new item in the box sealed, I'll always look up on Amazon. I've been a lot more picky on what I buy for Amazon. So if you Google Amazon FBA rank or chart rank, it'll tell you, break down a category and like what the top 1%, 3%, 5%, 10% is in that category. So I'm only trying to source items that are in the top 1 to 3%. So how Amazon ranking works is like in books, if they have however many books they have in their warehouse at the time. So 8 million books, I believe it is, and maybe even higher than that now. So they have 8 million books across all their distribution centers, and they rank it by how many times the item sells per day or per month or whatever. And so if the book's ranked under 1 million, you're going to be in the top 1%. And so it's going to sell fairly quickly. And this is, I think this is in the top 3% for home something. I forget. I looked it up and I was like, oh, well, because I thought it was a high rank at first, but then I looked up the rank chart and yeah, it was top 3%. So Yeah, I should probably abandon washing so much stuff. Yeah, I don't wash anything. I don't go to the bins either, so I don't know really. Where's Woolrich sold? eBay? Usually that's where I sell all my stuff. This is pretty cool. This is a vintage Champion spell out large duffel bag. It's pretty big actually. I think this is $5 or something. $5.50. They also give me a student discount there. I mean, yeah, no, I'm no longer a student, but I still have my student ID and I'd still look young enough to be a student. Of course, I just say that I'm in grad school, but they've never checked it. They're just like, oh yeah, that's fine. So it gives me 10% off in store too. Always keep your student ID. So winding down a little bit. Again, I didn't get that much stuff, so this isn't going to be that long of a video. Plus, I need to get back to work. These popped out to me instantly. Everyone knows what these are. Donskos, clogs. They're big in the medical field world. These were $12. Usually I get about 50 to $55 on these regularly. And I would assume that the all black ones would be better than some of the printed ones, because if they have in the office like a uniform policy, people are usually probably looking for all black or all white ones. How many eBay stores do you have? I have 2. This is kind of funny. This is a Mr. Potato Head massager, foot massager. So originally when I looked it up, I scanned the barcode on the bottom. It didn't come up on Amazon. So I just typed in what it was, Mr. Potato Head massager, and then it came up. So that was weird that the UPC wasn't attached to it. But yeah, I think these were selling for like $50 or something. And they were pretty good rank also. It was only $2, so I'll be sending that in. And then last but not least is Hello Kitty telephone. Again, this actually wasn't, there was no sellers for it on Amazon, so I could ask any price I wanted. So I think I ended up listing it for $40 plus shipping on Amazon. I paid $3.50. So hopefully it sells well. The rank wasn't too bad for being out of stock. So if something's out of stock or there's no sellers on it, then obviously it's going to drop in rank. But it was still pretty good so they must have just sold out or something. So I'm hoping that it sells very quickly. I sell it too, but I was just curious where it's sold normally. Smart ass. I mean, just telling you where it sells. What is the Amazon scan app called that you use? It's just the Amazon seller app. You can just download it. I think it's called the Amazon Seller Central. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, it's just called the Amazon Seller app. So that's pretty cool. What up? What up, Chris? How's it going? Do you use Inventory Lab? No, I don't. I mean, I'm not that heavy into Amazon. Is Inventory Lab also for, can you use it with eBay? I don't know. But no, I'm not that heavy into Amazon to really care about that too much. I'm probably like the worst reseller ever for not using tools, all the tools available, but I just don't feel like it mostly. I should probably care a little more. Like if I started like going super heavy into Amazon, then I might get it. Yeah, like most of my items are merchant fulfilled also. I think the Inventory Lab would be more for like the FBA stuff. Like I don't have a ton of stuff sent into FBA yet. And if you guys knew, back in January, I believe, my Amazon account was suspended because that I bought directly from because I knew their hats sold out like very quickly, so I knew I could flip them for like triple my money, and there was no Amazon listings on it, so I created the Amazon listing, and they complained to Amazon saying they were counterfeit, and so I had to contact their lawyer with all my invoices. The Facebook message they sent me saying your item has shipped all the packaging and stuff. And then it was just a long, drawn-out process where that people would be reselling their items. They didn't anticipate resellers, but so I was in the right the entire time. They finally emailed Amazon and retracted their claim. Amazon, for some reason, still didn't allow me to get back on. So I ended up contacting a lawyer like 3 months later. And they were like, yeah, just send them one last email with screenshots of the email from the lawyer. And literally 6 hours later, my account was reinstated. So maybe that was it. I don't know. Threatening a lawsuit, because I was talking to the lawyer, and he was the one that said that I would actually have to sue Amazon directly because they were the responsible for the actual damage. But I'm glad it didn't go to that. So do you have to be a registered seller to get Amazon app? Yeah, I believe you do. And they might now, because originally it wasn't a monthly fee if you were to choose if you wanted to pay the monthly fee or not. So if you sold over 40 items a month, it made sense to get the Amazon or pay the $40 a month, because Amazon charge if you didn't have the subscription, then Amazon charged you an extra $1 when the item sold. And so after 40 items, obviously it makes sense to just have the subscription, because 200 items and not be charged that extra $1 per item. But yeah, I believe you do have to be a registered seller to get the Amazon app. It's easy. Honestly, I would recommend getting it. It's just another income stream that you can start using while you're in the thrift store. I would stay away from hot ticket items like ink and stuff if you buy it from the thrift store, because people can say it's counterfeit and you really have no way of proving it. So you got to kind of use your discretion a little bit on what you think you can get away with, I guess, technically, even if you know it's real. A complaint by a customer, even a competitor, like if you're selling, that's the crazy thing about Amazon that I don't really like, is that if you want to control who's selling essentially on there, you could just buy from a competitor and be like, hey, this item's counterfeit. And then they automatically take that listing down of your competitor. So it's kind of crazy in that sense. And like, I brought it to their attention multiple times. Obviously, with a large company like that, they don't really give a shit. But I also invest in Amazon, so I'm still winning on the stock market side. And I believe I read an article this morning that said that they had 60% higher sales this year than they did last year on the same Prime Day. So their stock is now trading at over $1,000 again. It's made me quite a bit of money, so I can't complain. And that's the other thing I recommend. If you're doing this full time, start putting away money for retirement, because no one's going to force you to. No one's going to hold your hand. Get started now. Right now, I have a regular investment account, and then I also have a Roth IRA. There's a traditional IRA and then a Roth IRA, and you can only have one if you make less than $129,000 per year. And then if you're married, I believe it's combined $158,000 per year. So if you're making less than that as actual income, I would recommend doing it, because you can only $100 a year and it doesn't roll over. So start it now and try to max it out every year. If you think about it, 5,500 divided by 12 is what? Just under $500 a month. So $20 a day, under $20 a day. So if you have the spare money, it's compounding interest is one of God's greatest gifts to this earth. So do that. I highly recommend. Also health insurance, got to do all that stuff. But yeah, if you guys have any questions for me, yeah, exactly. Don't count on the government being there in the future for, pension for entrepreneurs. Exactly. Always be stocking away that money. So once you max out your Roth, then start putting it into your regular investment account. I got kind of lucky. So when I graduated college, I moved to where I am now and started working for a tech startup, and made good friends with the accountant / everyday guy, and he was the one that really got me into investing. So he's a little bit. I bounce a lot of ideas off him about investing and what he invests in. His portfolio is insane. He's like a year older than me, and has quite the portfolio. So I listen to a lot of what he says. I invest in a lot of companies that he does, and he hasn't really steered me wrong. I think there's only been one that's been decently bad, but it's going to be a long hold anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. It's actually Under Armour. I bought in at like 23 or 24 bucks a share. Now they're trading at $19 a share. So it's not that big of a deal though, because they just signed ASAP Rocky. So hopefully they can come out with a nice signature shoe for him, because he's huge. He's huge in the streetwear fashion game. So I think it was a good acquisition by them. So hopefully that once he starts collaborating with their designers and stuff, they can start coming out with some pretty cool stuff. Because I'm pretty sure he like single-handedly resurrected Guess as a company. I feel like they were a pretty dead company for the longest time, and then they retroed those striped T-shirts. Everyone's on them now. If you guys have Turo or Get Around out there, Josh, you should get a couple of rental cars. I've never even heard of that actually. I have to look it up. Where do you live now? What degree do you have, and what is your major? I live in Ann Arbor still. I went back to school to get my MBA at Michigan State after a couple of years of workforce, and then I dropped out after first semester to start doing eBay and reselling full time. I was really only getting my MBA as a backup plan to what I actually wanted to do, and then I just kept, like, every single day I woke up and hated going to class, because nothing wrong with the program. The program's great, makes some great connections. I just don't think it was a good time in my life to be going back to school. I needed to venture off on my own and see if I could do this reselling for a long time. And maybe, if it doesn't last forever, obviously school's always going to be there. And now I had an even better story. So maybe I can get to a business school like Stanford or Booth in Chicago, some of the top 10 schools, because I'm successfully, which is weird to me, and my friends think it's mind blowing too. I'm successfully running a business. It's like, it's so weird to think that growing up with no money, single parent household, my mom working 2 minimum wage jobs, to where I am now. And I think that also helps me a little bit, because I know what it's like to have nothing. So I don't want to go back to that ever again. So that's why I grind every single day. So how does one go about buying stock? There's your best friend's going to be Google. All my stuff's done on E-Trade, which is an online trading app. I believe each trade is $6.95, depending on what stocks you're buying. You're buying mutual funds and stuff. It requires some require a certain minimum threshold to even start investing in them. But yeah, I would do your research, and if you're really asking the question, how does one go about buying stock, I would actually reach out to a professional, because they're going to be able to help you a lot more than me, if that's your first question. So my degree, my undergrad degree, I double majored. I was in art education and social studies at Michigan State. You want to become certified as a teacher in Michigan, do a year-long internship for free, obviously. Didn't make any money. So I also ran track and cross country for Michigan State, and I got really good. I finally strung together a good season my senior year. So I decided to try professional running for a little bit. I was sponsored by New Balance and the local running store. So that I did that for about a year and a half, and then just realized like just a pipe dream a little bit. And even if you're like, you can be top 10 in the world, literally, this is crazy, track and field. You can be top 10 in the world, and if you're like 10th, you could still be scraping by to make any money. And yeah, that's pretty crazy. But yeah, I don't really know any of the rental car stuff, but may have to make a video on it. But basically, I make $300 profit per car and grab 3 cars. My buddy has 90 cars already. There's a few guys from LA with 60 cars each. So do you just? I'll have to look into it, Chris. That's pretty cool though. But yeah, that's my story. A little bit of background about me if you guys are just joining. Yeah, I already went over the haul. Sorry that you missed it. You can go back actually when I get off of live and you can rewatch it. Be much appreciated if you do. But yeah, thanks everyone for stopping by. I know it's been a while since I've actually made one of these. I finally got 2 assistants, so my workload's gonna get a little easier in the sense of I'm not gonna have to be photographing and measuring all that stuff, and I'll have listings ready to go while I make YouTube content, you know. I really did miss it. Like, I enjoy doing the interviews, learning about people, really making, I guess, connections in the sense of still make connections, even if it's virtual or not. Obviously, in-person connections are always a little more strong, but we got to start somewhere. And it's 2017, so a lot of connections might be made online. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. If you guys haven't hit the like button, if you did like this video, go ahead. Also, if you don't follow me on Instagram yet, it's just Vogue_squared. If you don't subscribe to me, start subscribing, because I'm gonna start putting out more content regularly. Maybe after this week, I'll start really getting into the grind of things. So I'll have both my assistants here tomorrow, and I have to teach one really what I'm looking for in photographs and stuff. It's really simple. I try to get a minimum of 5 photographs per item, and that's been upped. Usually I started at 3, now I went to 5. I just think adding more photos is better for everyone in the long run. Also, Etsy just updated their website, so now you can add 10 photos. Before it was only 5, so now you can add 10 photos. So that was pretty nice, because you kind of had to cut out a few things, like if there's any stains on an item and stuff. Those had to obviously take precedent over some of the other pieces of the item that you really wanted to showcase. So it's nice that they moved it up to 10. They must have, oh, you're talking about the legs. But yeah, 10 photos, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, appreciate everyone stopping by, and hopefully I can make this a regular thing again. Maybe start doing some more, start getting back into interviews and showcasing other resellers. But thanks for stopping by, everyone. Have a good what's today, Wednesday? Yeah, have a good Wednesday. Hopefully sales pick up for everyone. They've been pretty slow for me the past couple of days, but times in the summer, just keep listening, keep sourcing, and selling, everyone.